All right, we have a starter to put in today. Maybe get this cranking maybe and see if we have some oil pressure. But one thing that's kind of a little worrisome with this car, I'll be honest with you, he's pretty lucky he didn't just put this thing up into flames here. There's the fuse box, which is typical of these old MGs. My 52 is not much better. Have 2 fuses for the entire car, 2 circuits. I just changed the one fuse out there. That one there that says 35 amp is a brand new fuse. That's a 35 amp British fuse, meaning it translates to about 17 amps here in the US. They have a whole different burn way of doing things, and I won't get into that right now, but the fuse I pulled out of there was a 30 amp American fuse, so that's what the circuit was set up to run on, which is way more than those wires are designed to carry. Down below here, where this red wire is, that's where the other fuse is supposed to be. Non-existent. I don't know, I haven't looked to see where the rest of these wires go. I do know one of them is for the brake lights. And that's what they have this red wire running down to, is the brake light switch. So basically, this is the hot side over here. And I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm doing here. This is the hot side. So they're running full power from the fuse, well, basically from the battery, down to the brake light switch. And anything on that side is also hot, which it may be supposed to be, but one of those wires is definitely hot. Maybe both of them are. But the circuits on the other side, which you can see there's a green wire there, and that green wire goes down to where the brake light switch is, and that's where the wire has been cut off. So somebody did some really jerry-rigging on these wires here, on the wiring on this, and as I said, if you had a short, the whole car would have just went up in flames. But yeah, we'll try to straighten some of that out while we're in here. But I thought I'd share that with you before we get started on putting the starter in. All right, here we have the starter out of that 62 MG, which, as I said, wasn't cranking real good. Let's put it this way, let's put it simply, it's a mess. Of course, the drive is very sticky, which you would expect. The build date on this thing is 1961. You can see it's even the same color as the factory engine color. And I don't know if you can see it there, but here's a build date of 61. And I think we have located the actual problem with the starter. Neither of the ground brushes are connected to anything. They were just resting against the case, and I don't think that's going to suffice for something that probably draws 200 amps. So, we'll go ahead and get the starter situation straightened out. And carburetor, I have one carburetor apart, and it's soaking. The other one's sitting here on the bench. I like to do them one at a time. I don't want to intermingle parts between the two carburetors. I did bite the bullet and buy a rebuild kit for these carbs because the jets were completely stuck, and I was just kind of afraid that once I put them all back together, we're going to have leaks and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, not that it matters that much. It's not going to be probably driven anytime in the near future, but if you're going to do it, try to do it once, I guess. And we'll see how we get out of here with this. So, carburetor is soaking. Starter is here on the bench. That's probably going to be, I think I'm just probably going to replace it with a inexpensive aftermarket starter. They're so cheap. I don't really feel like trying to get brushes and solder them in and all that good stuff. And we'll have to just wait and see. In the meantime, we'll take a look inside the cylinders of this and the Triumph and see what we got. Okay, let's see. A new starter, a new probably piece of crap starter, but probably work. I'm going to go ahead and get the other starter and rebuild it. I really don't like messing with the soldered in brushes if I can avoid it. And as I said, that was what was wrong with this thing in the first place. I think I got the other one from underneath. Let's take a look. I was right. I tightened that one from. I had taken the bolt off from underneath. Got that one in. Got that one nice and tight now. I don't know if I can just get this one tight. Could kind of be. Let's see if this thing will crank. Well, this does that. I still have to hook up the starter wire. No big deal. Yeah, it'd probably work a whole lot better. It'd be another wrench versus a socket. You can barely get in there. Okay. Figures.
Okay, got the starter bolts in and tight. I had to enlarge the eyelet just a hair on this cable because probably this which was originally standard is probably now metric. So as far as that goes, the starter's in. I guess if we were to hook up a battery at this point, we might be able to see if the engine cranks a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Good old positive ground. Let's just see if it cranks. Oh baby, we even have fuel. Do you believe that? Wow. That's a shock. I have gas coming out. Last thing I would expect. All right, let's see if we get any oil pressure. All right, let's see if we can get some oil pressure out of this thing. I know we can get fuel pressure. There it comes, it's trying. It certainly is trying. Well, we got some. I don't know what that means. Not what I'd like to see during cranking, but of course this hasn't run in a while, so I don't know how bad the filter is either. Do have a new filter for it, and oil, and all that other good stuff. So at least we know we have that. Carburetor, we're still waiting on the rebuild kits for these carbs. They're pretty much cleaned up, ready to go back together. So we'll just have to, I don't think they're coming for about 2 more days, 3 more days. So I think we'll probably be, put some spark plugs in it. And we'll see what happens come next week.